Good morning and welcome back to the vlog. It's a bright Monday morning for me and we are doing a what I read in a week. I'm currently getting my breakfast and lunch ready to go to work, and I have to say that I recently invested in some bigger knives because I literally used to use I have like 3 of these and I use them for everything, like including my cooking and my cutting bread and bagels. And so I finally, of course I still had to get cute colorful ones, but I finally got a full set of like huge knives. And the way that I just cut through this bagel was too good to be true. Also, I have so many dishes drying, just ignore it. I'm gonna film what I read in a week. I usually do a fiction book and like a memoir at the same time. I listen to all my memoirs. I get them from the Libby app and then I just listen to them usually when I'm in the car, or like sometimes when I'm getting my steps in, sometimes when I'm getting ready in the morning. Depending on the fiction book, and also I guess depending on the memoir, I can usually finish 2 books a week. So we'll see. Last week I did really good. Currently reading, I just started The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue on my Kindle when I was flying to and from Boston, literally yesterday. We got back home midday Sunday. I'm only like 35 pages in though. It's kind of weird. Like, I'm sure that I'll like it as we keep going, but sort of like setting the scene, I'm getting kind of confused. And I was also like really tired, so maybe I need to start over, but I'm definitely not gonna do that. But reading The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, I have it on my Kindle and I also have the physical book because it was free on Kindle after I bought the physical book, so I just have both. And then my current audiobook is Crying in H Mart by Michelle, what is her last name? I really should know it, I'm so sorry. Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zauner. It's a really popular one. Here it is. I'm 30% in, so I'm gonna listen to this in the car and then read some fiction probably tonight. It's also gonna be a weird week because like, I know I'm going to the Bulls game tomorrow. I'm hanging out with one of my friends who's in town on Wednesday, so maybe some of the evening reading won't be as much as normal, but we'll see. It's realistic. We can't all sit around and read all day. Hi, can I get a small iced latte with oat milk? Can I get it with 2 pumps of white chocolate and 1 pump of raspberry?
Thanks, sinister. I'm slowly stalking. 3 days in already.
It's so late. It's not so late, but it's late to be catching up. It's 9:03. I just finished editing the Boston vlog. I went to work all day, but I left a little bit early. And then I've been editing that vlog since I got home. So since like before 5 o'clock, I've been editing that vlog and it's 9:03 right now. I'm about to take my makeup off and shower and get in bed and read. While I take my makeup off, oops, I'm pulling up the Libby app. Okay, so I got to 37% of Crying in H Mart. So I'm 2 hours and 45 minutes in and I'm like in the middle of a chapter. So no, I'll do it in the morning. I was like, maybe I can listen to it right now. No, I know everyone loves this book and I'm like not loving it. I don't know if it's because it was a weird week because I was like prepping to travel and then traveling. So when I was listening to it, maybe I just wasn't fully invested. But same thing with Addie LaRue. Like how I said, not off to a great start, but I also was like falling asleep reading it. So maybe that's my fault. I don't know. I was even falling asleep reading Addie LaRue last night, which never happens, but I guess I'm just exhausted. But gonna shower, brush my teeth, do my skincare, and get in bed and read some Addie LaRue.
He was wearing aviator eyeglasses with thin wire frames that took up practically half his face.
Rise and shine, happy Tuesday. I just got ready, ate my breakfast and everything. I'm going to rehearsal in about 2 minutes. But I've been listening to my audiobook, Crying in H Mart, since I got up when I was brushing my teeth and everything. Yesterday I made it to 37%. I am now at 53%, so I'm feeling good. I definitely think that I just needed to lock in to enjoy it because now I'm really enjoying this. And I also was really enjoying Addie LaRue last night. I almost like wasn't even gonna read because that's how tired I was, but then ended up reading, not like a lot, but a good amount. Like I was happy with how much I read. I got to page 69. I think I started last night at page like 39, so I'm not mad at that. I'm 14% in. and it says I have like 10 hours left. Yeah, 9.5 hours left. So that's good. It took, yeah, I guess it took like 50 pages to get to like, not the start of Addie's story, but for it to be like, oh, okay, this is how we got here. And now we're gonna start the story, if that makes sense. Like, we needed all that background, and the background is what was confusing me. But it's also because I didn't read the summary really. Like I said, I don't like to really read the summaries. I just kind of like know what it's about, maybe from like the first line or whatever, or the other reviews that I've heard. And I feel like maybe this one, I mean, I eventually figured it out, but maybe I should have read the summary and that would have helped. But that's my update for now. I'm gonna keep listening to this as I drive to rehearsal to and from, and then maybe when I work from home this afternoon. So we'll see how far I can get with this. And then tonight I'm going to the Bulls game, and I also must wash my hair. So I don't know. I don't even know if that's gonna be possible. Am I really gonna wash my hair tonight after getting home from the game at 10 o'clock? No, I'm not. So let me take back that lie right now before I have to take it back later tonight.
Away some of my jewelry this week, she said. But I want you. This, more than anything, felt like an expression of my mother's.
Great, it's actually the next day. It's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Good morning. I'm running around like a crazy person because my mom is picking me up to go on a little work field trip, and she said 9:45. It's 9:23 and she says, I'm here whenever you're ready. So now I'm going crazy. I have been listening to my audiobook since I've been getting ready. I did not read Addie LaRue at all last night. I'm just currently trying to quickly get this Boston vlog up. It's all done. Like I said, I've been listening to Crying in H Mart. I listened to it yesterday and today. So yesterday I think I got to like 59%. Now I'm currently at 69% just from listening today. So I feel like I could finish tonight. I think that's gonna be my goal. Addie LaRue, like I said, I went to the Bulls game last night. It was so fun. Our seats were amazing. They played the Detroit Pistons, and my boyfriend Manny is from Michigan. So he was in heaven. Went to the game, came home, had to finish the vlog, didn't read, didn't wash my hair. So, we're having a week. And I also love how this has basically just turned into a week of my life with a little bit of reading. But it is what it is. So now I'm going to work, and I will catch you later tonight, I guess. Oh, my dinner with my friends, I think she is sick and we can't go, which is sad because I haven't seen her in over a year, but also not that sad because it's a snowstorm tonight and I have things to do. Hair, reading, I don't even know what else. All right, tonight's gonna be a good reading night. I can feel it. I can feel it. All right, I finally finished Crying in H Mart. Been listening to it as I've been working, as I've been cleaning the house, as I've just been sitting here on my phone. Wasn't my fave. I know a lot of people like it. I can understand how special it is, how sad it is. And I feel like I don't know, I can respect it. It definitely got me thinking, but it was kind of boring. It was kind of all over the place, so I gave it 3 stars. It's a no for me, but I'm glad I finished it. This week of reading is not as bad as it was looking for the last 2 days. I'll start a new audiobook tomorrow, and then tonight I'm going to try to get through a little bit more of Addie LaRue. Definitely want to get over 100 tonight. Defrosting in my car. So cold outside. But it didn't snow as much as I thought it was. This is nothing. Knock on something. Last night, I read quite a bit of Addie LaRue, nothing crazy. I'm proud of what I read. I got to page 142. My goal was 150, but my eyes were closed. 30% in, that's good. That's a good marker or whatever. And then, like I said, I finished Crying in H Mart. I gave it 3 stars. Again, I can appreciate it. I can respect it. It's very sad. It did obviously make me think a lot. Her mom died and she is an only child and she feels like her Korean. So her mom's Korean, her dad is white American. And she feels like her ties to her Korean heritage are kind of severed. So there was a lot that went into it, but it just wasn't really my cup of tea. And I think that's okay. I think I'm allowed to say that. Now I'm going to start Kamala Harris's The Truth We Hold, It's due in 12 days. It's 9 hours long. I think I'll be fine. Also today I used my white chocolate raspberry Chobani creamer in a matcha. It's delish. It's delish. And yes, I'm having an ice drink in the snow.
Most mornings, my husband Doug wakes up before me and reads the news in bed. If I hear him making noises...
Currently making the most simplest girl dinner there ever was. But don't worry, we'll be getting a vegetable. We have frozen asparagus and then frozen, like, what would you call that? Mixed vegetables for my boyfriend Manny. He's gonna have a boy dinner, and that is gonna be grilled cheese that I'm gonna start and some frozen French fries. So this is how we're doing it in our household today. I started Kamala Harris's, wow, you can't see this. It's called The Truths We Hold. I think she wrote it in like 2018, but I'm already 15% in, so that's good. The chapters are extremely long, just like Viola Davis, Michelle Obama, and Barack Obama. I literally read the preface and chapter 1, and I'm already an hour and 25 minutes in, just at the start of chapter 2. So I really don't like the long chapters, especially for an audiobook, because I usually just listen in the car, and sometimes I'm not in the car for 72 minutes. Most of the time I'm not in the car for 72 minutes, so then I have to stop it when I'm not at the end of a chapter, and that stresses out my OCD. But I am liking this so far. I'll probably finish it like this weekend. I'm already 50% in. Addie LaRue is a slower burn for me, but once I finish my dinner, I'm gonna sit on the couch, I'm gonna read Addie LaRue. I'm gonna try and get to, like I said, I'm 142 right now. I'm gonna try and get to 200 on the couch. Then when I go to bed, I'll try to get to like 250 maybe. These are very large goals. Okay, I think I am officially reading at the slowest pace ever, but I did finally make it to 200 pages, 44% in. I don't know why my pacing is so slow for this book. I think it's just a lot to wrap my head around. I also, again, didn't really know what to expect going into it, but if you haven't read it, it's like dual timeline. So it goes back to like the early 1700s when Addie first got her like curse or whatever put on her. Where I'm at now, it's probably 1724 or something. It's been like 7 years. So we'll have like a chapter of that, and then it'll go to 2014, which is like present day. And she's in New York. She's in Paris in the 1700s. Yeah, so I didn't know that it was gonna go back, like continue to go back and forth. I thought it was just gonna be, you know, like a little bit of her history and then present day. I will say the 1700 timeline is not doing it for me, and I'm like dreading those chapters, but then when we get to 2014, I'm like, okay, I'm good, I have some motivation. So 2014 is when she meets this guy, Henry, who finally remembers her. Nobody can remember her. That's her curse. She's invisible, basically. Now she's met this guy, and she's known him for like a couple days, and he keeps remembering her. I don't know what's special about him that makes him remember her, but hopefully soon we'll find out, because we're 44% in. I'll let you know tomorrow how far I make it tonight. Happy Valentine's Day! It's Friday. I just left rehearsal and made a stop at Tropical Smoothie to get a smoothie and a wrap for myself.
From one bad circumstance into another, only to get caught in the gears of a system.
For myself and my Valentine. That was Kamala Harris that you just heard. Last night, how far did I get? I did not meet my goal of 250 pages. But you know, it's okay to set a high goal for yourself. I think I got to like 215 or something. 220. Somebody just pulled up right next to me. As I mentioned, it is Valentine's Day, so we're going to the movies today. We're going to see Captain America. A black Captain America during Black History Month. Are you kidding me? We're going to see that. I'm so excited. So I fear I won't be reading too much of Addie LaRue tonight. I'm still going to try. I am listening to Kamala Harris. Yesterday I got to, what did I say, 15%? 16, 17, something like that. I'm reading chapter 2 now. I'm 18 minutes into that. And it says I'm 18 minutes into the book. I'm trying to get to 18 minutes into the book. 18% into the book. I'm trying to get to like 30% today. I was thinking last night, why am I rushing through these books and why am I setting goals and not just like reading for fun? I think the reason that I do that is I remember more about the books if I read them quicker. Do you know what I mean? If it takes me a month to read a book, I'm gonna be like, wait, what happened at the beginning? But if I read it in a week, I don't know, it just feels more like a through line. I don't know, it just feels like watching a movie or watching a show. And the other reason would be that I don't want this whole vlog to be me reading one book. So there's that. But I do think that it is still very realistic that I have a social life and I have a job. And as much as I would like to, I cannot sit around and read all day.
Prison, I've met some of the smartest individuals with the brightest ideas.
My hair looks so silly when I first wash it, and it also, like, can you hear? It's so crunchy. But happy Saturday. We have reached a new milestone in Addie LaRue. I am on part 5. This title page is page 297, but I've technically made it to 300 because I think the first page of the next chapter is 300. Thank God we've made some progress, and I have to say this book is a no for me. I'm gonna finish it, of course, because I'll not be able to live without knowing what's happening. Copy of the day. This cream soda, unmatched. I also did listen to another hour-long chapter of Kamala Harris as I was doing my hair, because that's how long it takes me to get my hair to look as crazy as it does right now. Kamala Harris, I am 39% in. So today we're back on track. Last night was so much fun at the movies. We saw the new Captain America. It was great. It was a little bit confusing, but I also like haven't seen all of the Marvel movies. I just like to, you know, dip in and dip out. I'm gonna keep reading Addie LaRue. I might get into the physical book just to switch it up a little bit and see how I feel about reading the actual text on paper. So I think I might do that for a little bit. God, I finally finished this book, all 440 something pages of it, and it's gonna have to be a no for me. We'll probably give it 3 stars. It was a no. It was too long. It was like confusing and kind of slow. It did pick up the last like 100 pages, but yeah, it was rough. This was a rough week of reading because of this book. I was saying this to Manny earlier. I completely forgot that my first ever hearing of this book was through a podcast that I've listened to. It was either Redheads or I'll Read What She's Reading. I need to find it because I'm about to listen to it. Where they read it like for their book club and they hated it. They all hated it. And so then I was like, okay, I won't be reading that. But then I was getting recommended it on like TikTok and YouTube, and I guess I completely forgot that my first ever encounter with it was not good. I don't know why I was 100% sure I was gonna love it, because I indeed did not. But I'm just painting my nails now, and I'm gonna listen to that podcast so I can reinforce my dislike for this book. It wasn't horrible. It definitely wasn't horrible. There were some moments, some quotes that I really liked. I liked the ending. Like the overall story. Like if this was a movie, I would probably love it. But it was just a long, slow experience, and I wouldn't recommend that. But it is Sunday, so it is technically the end of the reading week for me, but I know I'm gonna start something tonight. So I'm gonna listen to this podcast, and then we'll see what I decide to read later.
Support for this podcast comes from save nearly $180.
Good morning. We have made it through the week. It is now Monday morning. It's been a full 7 days. It's been a rough reading week, but I feel like I redeemed myself on Sunday. I will go back and calculate everything that I read, but we finished the audiobook for Crying in H Mart. We finished Addie LaRue. I made it to what, like 39% of Kamala Harris's The Truths We Hold, I think it's called. And then last night I decided to pick Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. It's a thriller. Lisa Jewell is a popular thriller author. And I felt like I needed a thriller to kind of get me out of almost the slump that I felt like I was gonna be in after reading Addie LaRue. And again, this is like no hate to Addie LaRue. Like, I did enjoy the book. I did enjoy the book. It was just slow and it was just long. But it was a good book. 3 stars. Maybe 3.5. It wasn't a bad book. But anyway, I decided to pick this thriller. It's like 350 pages. I also read None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. And then this one's a little bit older, I think. I don't think it's on Kindle Unlimited. I think I got it from Libby. But I made it to 110 pages last night, just reading in bed. Which is like 20% of the book. I definitely could have read more if I wasn't, you know, if it wasn't 11 p.m. and I was like pretty tired. So I could have read more, but this is good. So Sunday we definitely redeemed ourselves. Finished Addie LaRue with the last like 100 pages and read 100 pages of this. I guess it wasn't as bad of a reading week as I thought because, like I said in the beginning, I can usually read like a book and a half in a week, and I guess that's exactly what I did. I said I need to remember that the audiobooks count, but I just forget that they count because it's listening and it almost feels like a podcast, especially because I usually do it when I'm driving or when I'm getting ready. That was pretty good. And I think for working full-time and still doing social activities, I read quite a bit in a week. So that's my realistic what I read in a week. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any book recs, let me know. If you've read Addie LaRue, specifically if you've read Addie LaRue, because there's, you know, everyone has a different viewpoint. So if you've read Addie LaRue, let me know your thoughts. If you've read anything by Lisa Jewell, let me know your thoughts because I really liked None of This Is True. And I'm gonna fly through this one, I can already tell. And then obviously the memoirs, let me know your favorite. Crying in H Mart was not really for me. And I also feel like Kamala Harris's is very political and a lot about policy, even though in the beginning she told me it wasn't gonna be about that. But I'm gonna keep listening. But thanks so much for watching and I will see you next week. Bye.